It's Heather here. Just gonna go ahead and shoot today's video. I might end up doing it with my dog sitting here the whole time. Apparently, the road construction scared her this morning, and when I put them in their crate at night, I don't fully close it. That way, if there's an emergency or something and they need to get out, they can get out, they can squeeze out. And so that's what she did this morning. So I know she was really scared because next thing I know, she was in the bed with me because a bunch of loud booms and everything. But, yeah. I don't know if she's still scared and she's milking it a little bit right now, even though that was hours ago, or if she's just wanting something to eat because I just fed her, like, some sausage, if you will. And, yeah. But she's mad I didn't give her more, I think. But I don't know. I think she was just really scared last night. That's the reason she got out, and so she didn't sleep too well. So she might, I think she's going to sleep. But, oh. And she took a nap with me yesterday on the couch. It was so precious. I wanted to get a picture of it. It's one of those things that, like, you're like, because the way society is nowadays, you know, they take a picture of every good thing that ever happens, every cute thing or whatever. And she laid on my back. I laid down on the couch, and she laid on my back and went to sleep like that. And I have not had either of the girls really do that, or even Bonsai when he was home. I've not had any of those dogs do that. Now, I had a miniature schnauzer when I was a girl, and his name was Romeo, and he was my baby. And, of course, he was smaller because he's a miniature schnauzer. But anyways, he used to sleep on my back. That's like the year or two that he was in the house that my dad didn't, like, completely kick him out. Like, he'd kick him out for a week or two, and then I'd get to bring him in and give him a bath and keep him in for about 3-4 days, sometimes a week or two, just depending on how much I kept him shut up in my room. That way my dad wasn't yelling and screaming, because just like I get irritated with their claws here on this laminate floor, their trailer has a lot of linoleum in it. Like, it's like a big span of carpet and then a huge span of linoleum and then another big span of carpet. And, like, whenever he would walk in there, like, that's all you'd hear was his nails, and my dad would just go ballistic and lose his damn mind. So Romeo never got to stay in. That's one thing that I dread about, like, trying to find a place to move is, like, I don't know how I'm going to do this with all my animals, or I might just give up and have to go and see if my grandmother will let me stay back with her, because there's no way in hell that I'm getting rid of my animals. Like, Tiger, I might try to rehome him because he doesn't have the greatest life, which is the cat that stays in the crate for the most part, and he's almost completely blind. But even at that, I kind of don't want to get rid of him because I love him. And I don't want to get rid of him because I've been trying to kind of get rid of him on and off. I haven't asked anybody in about 8 months, I think, I asked my friend Jen, but other than that, I hadn't asked anybody if they wanted him or stuff, because most people don't want him because they see him as, you know, too hard to take care of, you know. And the thing is he's not. Like, the only thing that he can't be around is he can't be around other cats. Other than that, he's fine. He used to, before my landlord started getting mad because he was eating her cat's cat food, supposedly, and stuff, he used to stay outside. And you might be like, oh my God, but he's blind. He's not completely blind. He sees well enough, and he hears excellent. So he knows, he can put together where the road is and how to stay out of the road and stuff. And he sees shadows, and he probably even sees still slightly some in his good eye, or his only eye, should I say. But he's not completely, like, you know, gone. Like, and he used to just get out in the grass, and I remember, like, I would sit there and watch him on the porch for, like, hours, and he would get out there and he would chase the grasshoppers in the grass. And I thought it was so adorable. But my landlord was like, you else need to buy cat food for my cat, or you need to find something to do with him. And so I explained the situation to her and about how I didn't have him in because he would pass the infection to my 10-year-old cat. And she was like, well, you're going to have to figure out something. You know, you're else going to have to pay me for cat food or figure out what to do with him. So now he's been in a crate. And then she's even come in and twice over all this time and been like, well, if I was you, because, I mean, he's in the crate, you know, it's a crate, and so it has holes and all that. And so, I mean, my other cat walks past and stuff, and they see each other and everything, but they don't get real close to one another. They don't eat out of the same food bowl. They don't drink out of the same water bowl. They don't use the same litter box. And my landlord twice has been like, well, I don't see why you just don't let him out. Why you just don't let him out and let him run around in here. And I'm like, because he'll make my other cat sick. Like, you know. And it's like, that's what I've understood from my mom and from the vet that she took him to when she had him and all that and everything. And then to find out that my parents went and got a kitten for my kid on Thanksgiving when she's over here. So my mom has practically already thrown away any feelings that she ever had for Tiger. And that's the thing, too. Whenever they took temporary custody of my daughter and they came over with a cop for my daughter to get some of her belongings or her clothes or whatever, my mom leaned over and was like, "Aw," you know, to the cage and was like reaching in and petting him and stuff. And the cop was even standing here. And my mom's like, "Aw, you know, I'm sorry that I haven't been able to find you a home yet," because I told her to be looking for him a home too. And she's like, "Well, I guess I'm just going to have to find you one, ain't I? I'm just going to have to find you a home, ain't I?" Of course, she ain't done shit. She went out and got another cat. That's what she did. I mean, that's fucking... I would never. That's the reason my mom, you know, I'm like, narcissist, all about yourself. I would never. I've never got rid of any of my pets other than kittens. And I got rid of my cat, which, I mean, he was still a kitten technically. He wasn't full grown or anything. Well, he was pretty full grown. But I had to get rid of him because my dad... I had to get rid of like 3 cats that were kind of pretty decent in age and everything because my dad bitching about them, and one of them was sick. He'd been throwing up flatworms. And I didn't tell the people because, I mean, I was just like, well, I guess they'll figure it out, you know, and I felt bad, but he was given away for like free. So, I mean, and he was beautiful, and his name was Bear. He was solid white with blue eyes. He had a little bit of a almost like orange spot to the side of his nose, but that was it. And he's the one that got like a wool in it, or what I call a wool, but it's a maggot from a boa fly or whatever that lives inside and burrows inside. And he got it in his neck, and it put a gaping hole in his neck. And so I assume that's the reason he got sick with the flatworms and stuff. Like, it took forever to get that out. And then it took forever for it to heal because he kept trying to lick it and it kept getting infected. And I didn't think he was going to be able to swallow and eat and all kinds of stuff. And then it finally healed up. But then he started throwing up those damn worms. And I was like, we need to take him to the vet. And they're like, no, we're going to get rid of him. We're going to take him to the flea market and get rid of him. So that's what we did. Man, I hate my childhood sometimes, like looking back all the shit that, man. See, that's the reason, like, me and my parents don't get along on parenting and shit. My parents are like, oh, it's hard. If it's too hard, they give up, they fold. It's hard. Give up, fold, walk away. And I don't understand that. And I'll never understand that. If it's not to their liking, then just give up. And I mean, I understand that to a degree. That's kind of the reason I'm leaving the apartment. I've got tired of the landlord here, and not just the landlord, but the people that have lived here, and the people around here, and and all these other things and stuff. And even though I don't want to leave because it's like, damn, I got roped in by another narcissist, I feel like, oh, make it your home. To hell with what, so-and-so says. Oh, they say that you're loud, but I know that you're not, and I know you're a sweet person. To hell with it, she didn't say to hell with them, but she's like, just ignore them, make it your home, make it your home. And then I make it my home, and then my kid gets taken from me. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, are you kidding me? And the thing is like, we still have like the little stickers. We have a bunch of the little stickers that you put up on the wall that they're just stickers, and they're not like, it's not like it's wallpaper and you got to use glue or anything. It's just stickers. You stick it up, whenever you want it down, you pull it down. And as a matter of fact, I went and I put one up just a few months ago. And because I'm like, fuck, I'm going to be leaving. And I'm like, and I like that one, and since I still have the paper for it, so I pulled the son of a bitch back down and put it back on the fucking paper. You know what I'm saying? Like, and she acts like it's such a big deal to see all these little stickers around, and I'm just like, they're stickers. They're stickers, she acts like it's a big deal with the pictures, too. But the pictures... Let's see, everything that is hanging on the brick is hanging on original, one of them's hanging on a command hook, I think. But everything else that is hanging on the brick is hanging on nails that are already there. And then I have this one that is, or two. Do I have two things hanging up in there? No, I think I have one. Anyways, in my room where the brick's at, all that shit's hung with command strips, okay? Everything else is hung with the little tiny picture hangers that got the hooks on them. But the nails with them, for the bigger stuff, for the heavier stuff, no, they're not the tiniest nails in the world. And then I've taken advantage of whatever. There's one picture that's hanging, let's see, there was an original nail there. That's hung with a command hook up above the door. Let's see. There was an original nail over here on this side. I think there's two, actually. But everything else, and she acts like it's such a big deal, and, she's been like, oh, you want to have stuff everywhere on your walls. Well, yeah, maybe I do. But as long as I'm following the fucking lease and what the lease says in it, and especially as long as you're getting a shower rod left and a friggin' medicine cabinet left, because those were put in with screws, and you're getting the fixtures left at least, if not the damn, but I got the cheap little rods, so it ain't gonna matter if I leave those or not, but I'm leaving the fixtures where you hang the damn curtain rods, because the ones in the living room, that wall is so, where you've had so many people move in and out, and they've hung up curtain rods here and there and there and here. I had to put screws in that son of a bitch to hold it. So I'm leaving the fixture, the things, what else can you do? What else can you do? And then to complain about the floor and everything, the floor is laminate, okay? Anybody with any type of mind knows to not have laminate floor with pets. It's a big no-no. And even though everybody's like, oh, don't have carpet with pets because it can get ruined too, there is no floor out there, okay? There is no floor out there that is not going to be able to be destroyed probably in some way by a pet. Whether it's hardwood floor and they threw up on it while you were at work and you come home and there's a big spot now, or whatever. But it's just part of having animals. And you knew I had animals when I moved in. And it's like, oh, make yourself at home, make yourself at home, make yourself at home. So I do. Then my kid's taken from me. That spirals me into even deeper depression than I've ever fucking dealt with to a degree in my whole damn life. And then you're sitting here and you're like, oh, your house is filthy and this and that, and you've really let it go and this and that. And, can you be happy? It makes me want to look at her and be like, can you be happy for me for once? Instead of downgrading everything that I do. because she has. Literally. She says, okay, she didn't say nothing about my kid being gone. She says that the house, I was letting the housework go since I'm working thirds. Can you be happy that I'm working thirds? I'm gone at 10 p.m. So I'm not even here at 11 p.m. for your little curfew. So I'm not even here to break your damn curfew. So any noise that comes from my apartment at night that would disrupt your family living here on the property, and that's the reason you have the curfew, it's not my business no more because I'm not here. But no, instead you're going to make comments about that, and like it's just everything, and it's just and the stuff that went missing until I put the lock out there on the friggin' gate and calling the cops out. And then having the key going missing, and then you trying to put the spare key going missing off on me, even though you were letting the girl that hated me, the woman that hated me, show an apartment which had all the key rings, all the keys on the fucking thing. They were all together. This was before you separated them. And just like whenever you come in one time and you went to the damn, you went back to my bedroom, which no big deal, I was here, and you went back and you seen the little closet thing and you're like, wait, didn't it used to go all the way across? And I'm like, no. And you're like, yeah, it did. And I'm like, no, it didn't. Because we don't even have closets here. We have the little metal, cheap, flimsy rack things that just hang there and you can't hang too much stuff on them or they're going to fall. And she's like, didn't this go all the way across the length of the wall? No, it didn't. And you didn't believe me, and I could tell that you didn't believe me. But I have a picture of it before I moved in. So I don't know if it was the tenant before me, and your mind has lapsed in that. But it was never full length when I moved in. And then me trying to tell you that, and you not even trusting me, and I've lived here 4 damn years. When have I never not paid my rent? Like never, just been like, oh, and tried to push it off and act like I don't know what you're talking about and never go back and pay. I've paid everything. Every time that I've been late, I've told you I'm going to be late. Every time I've been late, I've paid the late fee, except for once or twice when I paid it the exact day after it was due because I didn't know what damn date it was because my life is chaotic. I'm not perfect. And that's the thing. Apparently you think you are. Or in comparison to me, you think you are. Man, I shouldn't even be bitching about this. But I'm just tired of holding so much shit in. I don't even know where that stemmed from. I do to a degree. Because I'm just tired of holding shit in. But fuck far. Damn it. I guess it stems from the lie, make yourself at home, oh, honey, like, almost like, somebody that really cares, make yourself at home, which is the same thing my grandmother did to me. Make yourself at home, honey, make yourself at home, oh, you make it, and all that. I make myself at home, and then it's like, I'm sitting there, really starting to enjoy it and be relaxed. And it's like, okay, now I get to fuck with you. Now I get to tell you that you're not doing things properly. Now I get to tell you that you're being greedy or selfish. Then don't tell me to make myself at home. So whoever the hell I move in with after this situation, do not, I repeat, do not tell me to make myself at home unless you want to see me eventually make myself at home. And then when I do, and then when you get mad, or not mad, or when you decide that you're ready to pick on me now because I've made myself at home, don't get mad when I get mad at you. That is the stupidest damn thing in the whole fucking universe. That's like me telling my kid to go decorate her damn room for months. Oh my God. I was like, Ava, I didn't buy these stickers. Ava, I didn't buy this. Ava, I didn't do this for it to just sit here in a pile. Go in here and do it. Go in here and put it up. Go in here and figure out what you want. And my child know. She don't have that in her. She don't have that drive to want to care to do the work. I guess I've pampered her a little bit too much in her damn life, in all honesty. And that's the thing, too, like, everybody's like, oh, you know, that's the thing, too, like, everybody used to say that I was a good parent. Where are those people now? My kid's been gone for almost a fucking year. Where are those people now? Oh, I'm still a good parent. I'm just not a good parent enough for y'all to be like, hey, you know, like, talking to me about what I should do. Oh, y'all want to talk to me about what I should do by myself? Figure it out by yourself. Figure it out by yourself. Do everything by yourself. I don't get it. That's the thing, too. Everybody used to talk so well on what a good child Ava was. Ava was a perfect child, as people would word it. Ava was a perfect child. Ava's still a perfect child. And of course, who wants the perfect child? And then here I am, I've put my emotions into taking care of my child so well that my child is so emotionally independent and very secure in her being that everybody wants to, like, take her from me? Are you fucking kidding me? And then on top of it, you think I didn't see it coming a mile away? You think I don't see it when you've made comments over the years of, your daughter, she's such a little helper. She's so good. I see her out sweeping the porch off, and I see her doing this, and I see her helping you, and I see her this and that, and I'm thinking, that's just common decency respect, you know? Like, and she does it. Maybe she's kind of scared of me. You know, maybe she kind of was, you know, like, oh God, I better listen to Mama because Mama's going to spank me, even though she's 12 and I have, at the most, during 1 year, at the most, I may have spanked her 10 times. At the most, in 1 year. And I don't even think I've done that because I didn't start spanking her until she was almost 3. She was like 2 in a couple months when I started popping her butt. And then even at that, you know, the diaper and all that, and it's just a little, you know, and it's a, you know, the little frowny face, you know, and you're just like, I said no. You know, like, but Lord Jesus. And who knows? Maybe even my dad's spanking me and beating the hell out of me. Maybe he only beat the hell out of me so many damn times. But the thing is he beat the hell out of me. He beat the hell out of me until I passed out. He beat the crap out of me until I woke up in my bed with bruises all up and down my backside. To where I couldn't sit up in bed. Fuck. I don't know. I don't know what the hell's going on. I don't know what the hell the deal is. I just want my daughter back home. Man, I hate how my arm does this. Occasionally I'll get like 1 or 2 little bumps on it. Like little whiteheads or infected hairs or something. I don't know. And it annoys me because I can feel them up under my skin. But I don't know. I just want my kid back. Like, I don't understand why this is even happening to me, why this is even seen as legally correct. I mean, I would understand, I would have even understood if it would have been like, no, we have to keep her for 6 months to make sure that you're not going to do what you did back in October again. Okay. Set that timeline with me. But a year? And then allowing my parents to be so in control that I missed her birthday? I mean, yeah, I missed Christmas because I chose to miss Christmas that year. Last year. I chose to. Because when you respect somebody, right? When you respect somebody and they need space. And see, I respect my child. Even though my child doesn't respect me most of the time. Because she's taught by my parents, especially, to not even respect me at all. I can't, when she's home, I can't even take a bath for 30 minutes without her coming back there. She has clung so tightly to me. And while it has annoyed the hell out of me and gave me no room for growth and independence, I have valued it as well. Because I've sat there and I've thought, well, one day she's not going to, she's not going to be living with me. She's going to be 18 or 20 and she's going to be in her own place, One day I'm not going to have to deal with this anymore. It's like that song, who's it by? Kenny Chesney. You're going to miss this, I think. You're going to miss this. You're going to want this back. Fuck, I miss my kid. But it's like all the annoyances that come with being a parent. You're going to miss this. You're going to want this back. That's the reason sometimes, like, she didn't get it. Like, she would do something that she knew pissed me off. And I would just, and I would walk off. And she would, like, smile and look at me weird. She'd be like, what? And I'd be like, nothing. And she'd be like, aren't you going to get on to me? And I'd be like, why? Like, you reach a point where you don't want to be negative, Like, it's not that you don't want repercussions for what they did. You don't want them to understand that what they did was bad, But you just get tired of kind of being so repetitive all the time. Please pick up your shoes, or please, pick up your pants and put them in the dirty hamper, the dirty clothes hamper, like... please do this, now, if you don't, I'm going to take this away, or I'm going to spank you, or I'm going to ground you from your phone for a week, or, or whatever. And that's the thing too, like, somebody done knew something. Somebody has done known, that's what pisses me off about my case. Somebody's lying to me. Somebody's withholding information. And I can feel it. And I don't appreciate it. Not one damn bit. Because I went in there and I tried to... This is what I initially did. So they come over that night. The cops did. I called the cops. It was New Year's Eve. I'm like, hey, I don't have a vehicle. Can you please go pick up my daughter? Because I can't get nobody to answer the phone. She's at my parents' house. Here's my parents' address. It took them like 2 hours. From like 10 o'clock when I got off work to midnight. They show up at midnight right as the ball is dropping. And they tell me, that my parents have taken temporary custody of my daughter. And that on the 2nd, I'm supposed to be in court. Then I find out that they didn't even go to our courthouse from where what county we're in. Okay? They didn't even go to our courthouse in the county that we're from. Okay? They went to a different county. So I go to work and I tell people. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. And this woman that I'm working with offers to take me. And offers to help me. and tells me that I'm a good mother and that she sees no reason and everything else. I mean, she acted like she was just as shocked as I was, as did quite a few people that I've worked with. So I went to court, right? So we're up there and they're like, okay, well, do you want your parents to have the temporary custody of her, or would you rather her go to state? And I'm like, I'd rather her be home with me, and they're like, well, would you, what was it they asked? They asked if I would rather continue going on through with the way the court was, like at the beginning, or if I wanted to find an attorney. And, I'm new to all this, so I'm like, I want an attorney. And then he says, okay, well, if you get an attorney, you realize that this is going to postpone this and that you're going to have an attorney and that it's going to take time. And since y'all aren't from here, you're going to be setting up here, this much of the day and all this or something. And then you might have to return in, another day or two or something for it. And I looked over at my parents, and their face was, just kind of a little, off. And I thought about Ava, my daughter, and I thought, I don't want to drag this on. I don't want to drag this on. I don't want my baby to have to be out of school and up here. She needs to be in school. She needs to, or she needs to be home and, us going to a counselor and talking about shit. Like, she don't need this. And so I'm just like, okay, well, I guess we'll go ahead with this today without me having an attorney, or whatever present. So we went ahead, went through it, and they, granted temporary custody, with them. So, okay, so then I come home, and I'm literally freaking the fuck out. And that's the thing, too, is I didn't just come home. I went straight to the courthouse and got an attorney, And that's what the woman did for me that I was with. She took me up there and I applied for an attorney. And the guy that was sitting was this black guy. And I was just rambling on, trying to tell him the whole case and everything, And he just looked at me whenever I said the bit about me putting the belt around my neck. And he just shook his head, kind of like thinking, it kind of come across like, well, you're never getting your kid back. And I thought to the way he shook his head at me, and it sent me into an anxiety, panic attack, inside, I was, screaming, and I was like, fuck, yeah, I messed up, but holy shit, that was in October, this is December, what the fuck is wrong, somebody does something wrong, they move on from it, right, and that's one thing that I've always prided myself on, is I do something wrong, and I move the fuck on from it. I move the fuck on from it, and it's not that I don't deal with the repercussions of it. I was going to have repercussions of it regardless. I was done having them. The amount of guilt that I put on myself for the things that I do wrong, it's enough to make anybody break. Because when you were raised in a house where it's like, oh, you're a piece of shit and you're a whore and you should fucking kill yourself and I hope you die and I don't want to see you and shut the fuck up, So you do something wrong, and it's like, oh, yeah, that's what I am, Oh, fuck. But it's like, I didn't need this. See, I feel like everybody thinks, and my dad, they're helping my dad be a controlling little dictative son of a bitch. And they're helping my mom be a narcissistic asshole. They're like, oh, you didn't obey us. We're going to fuck you over. We're going to fuck your whole life up. Because you didn't listen. And it's about time that because you didn't listen, you get a punishment for it. Where's your punishment for choking me, Dad? Where's your punishment for touching me, Dad? Where's your punishment for leaving bruises up and down my backside, Dad? Where's the punishment for what the hell the difference is between me and my sister, that my sister gets treated a certain way dealing with her personal life, I guess you'd say, versus me and my personal life? Where's the distinguishing, shit between that? Where is it? Like, I don't understand. Y'all get away fucking scot-free because y'all know how to keep y'all's mouths shut? Because you don't know how to be honest? You know how to lie. And you're getting applauded for it. By courts. I run my fucking mouth about what I've done wrong because I hold myself accountable and I get treated like shit. Y'all never held yourself accountable. Y'all hold yourself accountable for as far as having a job and paying bills and paying for a house like the majority of the fucking world. But where do you hold yourself accountable for the mean things that you've said, the mean things that you've done, the abuse that you've put on to other people? I don't understand it. All I know is if I do not get my daughter back, whatever happens, if I do not, it will not be good. That makes me feel like I'm going to have a fucking heart attack and die thinking that and saying that, because I'm sitting here and I'm like, but please, 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 please. It's like, have you ever wanted somebody to prove you wrong? To prove you wrong. Not because you enjoy it, not because it makes your pride feel so good, but because for once in your life you want to be like a sigh of relief, like this responsibility. But I knew this was coming. I mean, hell, I made a video in fucking Easter about it with my kid home. Walked around, hey mom and dad, look at the house. Isn't it horrible? In your opinion, aren't we horrible people? Ain't I a horrible mother? And Ava's in the back and she's just dying Easter eggs and she's like pointing at me and she's like, Mom's crazy. Like teasing me. And I'm like, you little butt. But I mean, we was having a good time. Having a good time. And then what's wrong with a child having a birthday that just consists of a birthday cake and like 2 presents with her mom in her home? What's wrong with that in America? Because apparently that's wrong in America. Apparently that's wrong in Georgia, the state where I'm from. Yet the kids that do need the help, because this is what the maintenance people did. They claimed that they wanted to help with my daughter Ava. They weren't getting anything out of my daughter Ava. Not that, and I'm sorry, I know how people work. I know how manipulative people are. Ava is beautiful. Ava is smart. She is witty. She is funny. She is sassy. She's classy. She's wise. She's wise beyond her years. And she's a little hellion to a degree, in all fucking honesty. That kid, I mean, the dog Clarabelle, my dog Clarabelle, her dog Clarabelle, our dog Clarabelle, that dog minds Ava like Ava is God. And I feel sorry for the dog to that degree. Because that dog minds Ava better than Una, the dog that I trained, minds me. Una's a little stubborn shit. I'll tell her to do something. She'll just look at me like, fuck you. I don't feel like it. Not right now. Kind of the same little bit of attitude Ava would have towards me. Ava, I asked you to do this. Please do this. As a matter of fact, Ava's little 16-year-old friend at the time that used to be our neighbor that come over and spent the night one night, I asked Ava to do something, and she wouldn't do it. And I went in there and I started crying because I was tired. I'd got off work. I was letting her friend spend the night. I was just going through a bunch of emotional shit in the back of my head. About how, you kind of think, I'm going to spend the rest of my life alone. And I'm never going to have any more kids. And I'm fixing to turn 30. And I always wanted to have, all my dreams are just down the fucking trash bin, And then you got people, you deal with at work. And you got rude comments and all kinds of stuff. And so I'm sitting there and I'm doing the dishes. And I go into her room because she's sitting there with her friend. And I'm like, hey, this and that. And I asked her something, I don't remember, and she just told me no or something. And I just started crying and talking to her and being like, I wish you'd appreciate me more. And her friend was like, just beside herself, and everything. And she tried to talk Ava into doing what I'd asked Ava to do, clean up or whatever. I think it was to clean up her room, to straighten up her room. And I don't remember what it was. And then her friend got mad at her for her being so mean to me because her friend's mother, abandoned her. And so she's like, I wish I had my mom, around, to care about me, like the way your mom does. I feel so sorry for that kid. I can't even mess with other kids. It's like I have to block out other kids because other kids, that's the reason, my oldest niece, when she would sit and she'd spend the night some nights and she would tell me about her missing her dog Penelope, which is what I wrote the little story for her about and everything. I mean, she would cry and cry and cry in my arms, and I would cry with her, And, I'd tell her she could come over and spend the night as much as she wanted to, and that when she turned 13, that she could move in with me, because supposedly that's Georgia state law, or whatever. I don't know if it's true or not, but supposedly, at 13, you can live with whoever you want to live with. And I used to ask my niece all the time whose house she enjoyed more. And even though, and that's one thing that my friend Jen talked about was, now Jen, if you watch this ain't a scold on you, because everybody's different. Everybody parents different. Everybody does things different. And I mean, if you're friends, then you tolerate it, even if you disagree with it and stuff. And that's what friends do, And so Jen, the way that she gets onto her kid is, it's fairly regular. And it's not, it's not in a bad way or anything, but it's just, it's very assertive, straightforward, all the time and everything. And there's the 16 personality types and stuff, and all that. And so she, she's like, da da da, and then, her kid does whatever and straightens up. And it's every, I wouldn't say every couple days, but, whenever I kind of see, which is kind of every couple days or at least once a week or whatever, Or me, I bottle it up, and I, for weeks, Ava, clean your room. Ava, get in there and clean your room. Ava, I've told you to clean your room. Ava, would you please clean your room? Ava, and she come out, where's my phone or where's my this? I hid it. Why did you hide it? Because I've asked you to clean your room for 5 days now and you've not done it. And then she'd go around the house and she'd find her phone or whatever and she'd be like, ha ha, I found it. You didn't hide it good enough and stuff like that. And I'd be like, well, you still need to clean your room. Get in there and clean your room. You know, if you don't get in there and clean your room, I'm going to take your phone from you. You know, and like sometimes we'd kind of, you know, not bad. It was never bad or anything, you know, but like she'd have her phone. I'd be like, give me your phone, you know, and she'd be like, no, you got to get it from me, you know, and I'd be like, okay, fine. And so I'd try to get it from her, and she would else end up accidentally hurting me, you know, or usually what I'd do is because her hair was so long, I'd just grab like a little section of her hair and just be like, and not let go of it. I wouldn't yank it, but I wouldn't let go of it. And she couldn't move, and so she'd just stand there and be real mad, and I'd be like, you gonna hand me your phone? So that way you can do whatever you want to, so that way I'm not holding your hair, you know. And she'd be like, let go of my hair, and I'll be like, I'll let go of your hair whenever you give me the phone. And she'd be like, let go of my hair, please, Mama. I don't like when you do that. I'd say, okay, you don't like when I do that? Well, I don't like when you're not minding me and you're not getting in there and cleaning your room. And I've been asking you for 5 damn days to do it. I'd be like, so go clean your room. Okay, fine. She'd slap the phone in my hand, you know. She'd go in there and pout and prompt around, you know, and everything. And I'm just like, cut on music and just ignore her. Let her pout and prompt around and whatever, you know. But I mean, there's just certain things that and then society, you know, society is like, oh, kids have to have everything because they're a kid. They're a kid. You're supposed to let them have everything that they want to have. Because if you don't, and then that's the thing too, being caught in the middle class, I guess you'd say, or lower poverty, whatever the fuck I'm considered, and everything. Everybody wants to tell you how to raise your kid, and that's the damn thing too. Everybody wants to tell you how to raise your kid, yet I didn't listen. I didn't listen for the most part. I raised my kid what I thought was best because I've been wanting to have kids since I was itty bitty. I knew I was going to be a mom. I knew I was going to be a mom come hell or high water. There was somehow I was going to be a mom, or I was going to have a lot of pets and be mom to them. But either way, I was going to have a lot of babies to take care of. And technically, I've kind of done that. Even though I don't know where my damn dog's at now, Bonsai, and my damn actual kid is not home. But that's the reason I enjoyed reading the books, page after page, chapter after chapter, the child development classes. I fucking adored it. I loved it. Because I was like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And on top of that, I have knowledge from my childhood that this hurt my feelings, that made me feel like this, that made me feel bad. I'm never going to say that. I'm never going to do that. I'm going to try to steer clear of ever doing that. Blah, 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 blah. You know, and I have. I've tried to steer clear of every bad behavior that has ever stemmed from either of my parents. And I've done a damn good job of it. Because I see other parents that are not necessarily doing that. I see other parents that are parenting exactly the way that their parents parented them. Why? So that way they have the support of their parents. And also, on top of it, not just doing that, but obeying their parents even though they're grown themselves. And it's like, I don't want to do that. I want my child to be better than me. And I want her children to be better than her. And so on and so forth. And why the fuck living in this situation is like, no, you're all supposed to be the same. You're supposed to parent the same way. You know, oh, your dad smoked cigarettes to deal with anxiety. Now you need to light up a pack, Heather. You know? Which, granted, I haven't, but I've thought about it during the past 2 months quite a bit because I'm so stressed. And I know growing up around it, I know I have a slight addiction to cigarettes. And that's the reason I try to stay away from them completely. And then my friend Jen, she smokes. And it's not like when people smoke that I'm sitting there like, ah, yeah, you know. But I've noticed that it'll calm me, you know. It'll calm me, you know. But it depends on if it's the same brand, too, that I grew up around, which Jen don't smoke that. Now, she smokes the same as my grandmother has over the past few years, but there's like 2 certain brands that I don't know. I can walk in somebody's house that smokes in their house, and I'm just like, okay, I'm ready to go to sleep. Like, I feel completely relaxed. I feel like I'm at home and I'm a little kid and like my papa's still alive. I don't know, crazy shit, I reckon. But anyways, I don't know. I'm just getting on here and ranting about a bunch of shit that I guess I'm stressed out about, which I didn't even mean to do. But it is what it is. Because like I said, it's just the thing of shooting a video, every day that I'm going to stick to, And I've sat there and I've even picked that apart in my head. Well, that's stupid. Well, why would you do that? Like, and stuff like that and everything. But it's like, because it's what I said I was going to do. Because my dedication, because, I feel better when I do it. Well, what if it gets you into trouble? What if somebody sees it that wants to be a little asshole, just like the fucking maintenance people whenever they're like, what was it she said to me? She said, because I put a video up on my Facebook after they left that day. And I was showing the apartment. And I was talking about my suicide attempts over my lifetime, which I've talked about in another video just on here. And this woman tried to be like, oh, and my husband kept a copy of your video, and we're going to make sure you never get your kid back. Because of suicide attempts when I was a kid, When I was a kid. I've had 3 suicide attempts when I was a kid before my kid was even born. I've had one since my daughter has been born. And she was 7 at the time, okay? She was 7, or 6. Hadn't even turned 7 yet, I don't think. I don't know. I don't know if she was 6 or 7. I think she was 6. Because I think it was, March, April. Well, no, she was 7. April. He left in April. She turned 7 in May. He wasn't around. Okay, she was 7. She's fixing to be 13 in a few more months. Or in half a year, I guess you'd say. I think that's pretty damn good. Sorry. And then my husband abandoned me. Let your husband abandon you and see how well you stand. There's lots of people that have suicide attempts after their significant other leaves them. Believe it or not. They might not ever admit to it, but it's the truth. And then was my attempt so successful in any way, shape, or form that I had to even be hospitalized for it? Did I keep doing it every day for 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 days after? Or did I stop? And what made me stop? What made me realize I was being stupid? Seeing my daughter asleep on the couch. So this woman wants to be like, oh, my husband kept a video. And it just made me so mad because it's that dictatorship. It's that fucking control. It's that narcissistic. It's like, okay, and do you want to see the inside of my vagina too? How about we crack open my chest and you can take a picture of it and show it to the courts? Like, I am who I am. I do what I do, and I'm as honest as a human being can probably fucking be. Like it or not. And believe me, y'all have made it apparent that I'm not supposed to like it. And that's what has made me be so damn hard on myself. Most people have made my honesty not a good quality. No, it's a sin. It's bad. That's just like my mom. Whenever we went to the school and school counselor, and I went and talked to the school counselor the first time, and I come and got back out in the car whenever she come back and picked me up that time within 45 minutes after done talking to the counselor. She's like, Heather, they don't care about you. They don't care about you. They don't care about your problems. And all the courts did by letting them take my kid is prove that, yeah, they don't care about me. They don't care about my problems. Lord, sometimes I don't know why God has created me the way that He has. I don't know why my heart is so fucking, I don't know. Not my literal heart, but this dog is sleeping so good because I'm talking. And because apparently she was really scared in her cage because the road work. She is sleeping so sound. It reminds me of Ava when she was a baby and a kid. I'd get on the phone with my friend, my best friend at the time, Adrian. I'd get on the phone with her, or I'd be on the phone with my husband, Casey, when I married him. And I could be walking around and talking, and Ava would have got her belly full off of snacks or something, and she would just doze off on the couch, and she would sleep so peacefully. And it makes me feel so good knowing that I provide that to somebody. Knowing that I'm a comfort. And that's just like my nieces. Oh, Lord, Delaney, my youngest. That baby one time, she fell asleep in my arms when I was babysitting her when she was little. And I held her for like 3 hours. And I had not done that since, like, my daughter and my oldest niece, like, they're not that far apart. And so I hadn't done that with a baby in a long time. Just hold them. Let them sleep. Let them know that there's nothing going to bother them. And I remember when she woke up, her whole side of her hair was all flat and, like, sweaty. And boy, when she woke up, she was well rested because her eyes just popped open, you know. She's like, I'm going to go get some juice, you know. Like, she wasn't that little, but she was still tiny. She's like, I'm going to go get my juice out of the fridge. And she's like, will you open the fridge? And I was like, yeah. I think she was sick, and I was out of work. And my parents had to go to Chattanooga or something. And so they asked me to watch her so that way they wouldn't have to deal with her. Because my mom or dad had a doctor's or dentist appointment or something. I was like, yeah, I'll watch her. Lord, I miss my babies. Oh my God, I miss my babies. I miss my baby, though. Oh, my little peanut toes. I've always teased her about that, and she hates me for it. But she's got her peanut toes like her dad. Hey, but if you ever see these videos, honey, which I wouldn't necessarily recommend it because mommy cusses a lot more in them than I ever probably have in your lifetime, to a degree. But, if you ever see them, just know how much I love you. But, for anybody else, I'm going to end this video here. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a great night. I know a lot of people are sick. I myself have not been feeling too well, but I've actually been feeling better over the past few days. I want to thank my newest friend. you know, which is also one of my subscribers and people that comments on my video. I won't give out your name, but I appreciate, you know, you being so kind to me and stuff. And I mean, even though I don't know you well enough to know you 100%, and even though I know that you know, you've said that you've done counseling before and stuff like that and everything, you know, I'm sitting here and I'm like, you know, kind of like, that's good, you know, because you can open my mind to stuff. And then that's like Jen has been a godsend too, you know, because she's very educated and intellectual. And it's like, what was it? I watched the movie the other day, Lemony Snicket's, the series of unfortunate events or whatever. And it's like, what is it, Klaus? Or I think that's his name, but it's the boy, and he reads books, and everything that he reads he remembers. And it made me think of Jen, because that's who she is, like literally, like she'll read something and I don't think she forgets it at all. But everybody has a purpose, everybody has a reason, you know. My biggest thing about dealing with anybody is just don't use me. Just don't do it. It's not a recommended behavior for anybody. And you ought to know that. So, you know, and I worry about that a lot. Oh, that dog. She just rolled over on her back. She sleeps like that like 98% of the time. But, yeah, I'm going to end it here. So I hope you're doing good, and if you've been sick, I hope you feel better. I hope you have a great holiday season. You know, I hope everything turns out for the best. I wish you luck, and I'll catch you later.